Hi there, I'm Danny Crouch. I'm a life coach and I'm here to talk to you today about the feedback sandwich and feedback or effective feedback. Now, let me give you the Wikipedia definition or the definition on the internet, and I'll read this. Feedback is information about reactions to a product, a person's performance of a task, etc., which is used as a basis for improvement. Important point there is that it's used as a basis for improvement. So who provides feedback? Well, you're used to getting feedback from teachers, trainers, educators. We as life coaches provide feedback. Friends, parents, family, so on and so forth. So generally everyone will provide feedback at some time in their life. What the misconception tends to be, and let me understand this, let me explain this. This is my opinion, okay? I'm not saying this is fact. I've just given you a definition which is considered fact. But what I'm about to go through and what I'm about to explain and what I explain and talk about on a lot of my videos is basically my opinion, my perception of how I see it, or my map of my territory. And I'm actually a trainer. I train business and management online for students that do diplomas and certificates in that area. So I've got a life coaching business, but I also like to work with students in the business area. Now I provide a lot of feedback, and it's interesting how people talk to me and they suggest, oh, you must be great at giving positive feedback, and geez, isn't negative feedback a downer, and it's such a good way not to provide information to students. I don't actually think there is such a thing as positive or negative feedback. I provide a feedback and I hope that it's effective. I was about to say I provide effective feedback, but I don't know if it's effective or not. All I know is my perspective and how I interpret something, and then how I can find a way to possibly offer some suggestions on improvement. So when I said I don't think there's positive or negative feedback, where I think that comes in is from the receiver of the feedback. Okay, does that make sense? So, for example, I could say, geez, that was very nice of you to give that person a flower today. Now, that person can hear that feedback. I did not mean that to be positive or negative. I just thought that was effective feedback. I saw it, I commented on it. Didn't need improvement, but it's a little bit of feedback if you get what I mean. That person, however, could have heard that and said, geez, what a very nice person. He's just commented on the fact that I gave a flower to my friend. Or if that person was thinking a different way, or a million other different ways, but another different ways is, could have thought, geez, have a go at that guy. He's having a crack at me because I didn't give anyone else a flower, or I didn't give anyone a flower yesterday. So it's up to that person whether they want to perceive that feedback as positive or negative. Different way of looking at it? Yeah, I think so. Now, the big question I want to go through is, who's the feedback for? And you're probably saying to yourself, oh, well, obviously it's for the person who you're delivering the feedback to. Let me explain that in a different way. Quite often people get caught up in the idea of their feedback matters. So I need to tell you what I think because I think you need to know what I know. That's not feedback. That's looking for validation. That's someone trying to get their point across to someone else. So that's not feedback that is meant to be effective or is meant to be used for improvement. That is for self-glorification. So feedback is for the receiver or for the listener. So if you're trying to provide feedback to that listener, what's in it for you? Is there anything in it for you other than you're happy to pass on that information? Then you don't need to make it about you. Why does your feedback have to involve a story you were in? Why does the feedback have to have justification? Well, sometimes you do need a little bit of explanation to back up what your feedback means. And that moves into what my partner Nicole, or Nick, likes to call the feedback sandwich. Now, this is done a little bit by Joe Parney in the Coaching Institute's intake weekend, which I went through just recently. And it starts off with a validation. So if you're providing validation to someone, you can do it in a way that is really effective. So this is a little formula of part of this feedback sandwich. The basic overview of the sandwich is provide something positive, give them validation for what they're doing, provide an area for improvement. Now that's not criticism. You don't need to tell people what they're doing wrong. You want to just focus on how they can improve on it. You don't need to tell them there's something wrong with that, you need to do this. You can just tell them, How about you look at doing this? So you've got the validation, you've done well in this, very good, well done, congratulations. Then you've got, hey, have you seen this? Can you improve on this? This is great, could you improve on this? And then back it up again with a third piece of validation or a third thing of, geez, I really like this, or that was done well, or great work, and all that sort of stuff. Now, with going back to the first one, identifying with something that they've done well. Okay, that's the first impression you're giving in this feedback. The first thing they hear is going to be something positive and upbeat, under the impression that they interpret it that way, but you have the ability to give it that way. I know that it could sound slightly contradicting there because I'm suggesting it's positive, but you can use language to infer that it's positive. Again, it's up to the receiver to interpret it whatever way they like, but the intention's there. So identify something that you find they've done well, and then find the quality within that the task that they've done. Identify that quality, and then you suggest that you admire it or respect it, or you thank them for it, or they've done well by doing that. You can refer to them as them if you know them, but you might want to refer to that you enjoy that quality in others, so that they feel like that you're aspiring to other people and you're putting them in that category. By talking to them directly, you might be sort of suggesting that you know them, and that can seem a little bit false at times. Okay, so that's generally what I see as the feedback sandwich. Feedback's very important, but be remembered, whenever you're providing feedback, don't make it about you, make it about them. You want to help them, give them the feedback they deserve and they earn. Well done, all the best, talk to you later, bye.